Welcome to Fastlane, a JCTV podcast. On today's show, we're talking to two drivers in the SAAC Coast to Coast Cup Series before Season 1 wraps up Thursday night at Phoenix Raceway in the midst of a close title battle. Plus, this Friday night is the second Redditors vs. Racers event, so we'll take a flashback to last year's finish. Plus, a new series is on the way next year on JCTV, and we'll learn more about that today on this Fastlane. Joining us now is driver of the number 99 in the SAAC Coast to Coast Cup Series, Eric Heeter. Eric, thanks for joining us today. You didn't get a great start at Las Vegas. You were many laps down by the time we saw you. Can you explain a little bit what happened Thursday night?
Yeah, I had a conflicting series that I had to participate in. I wasn't planning on running. I just got the registration in on the last second, and it was just kind of like a backup plan if I crashed out to run and try and get any points I could. But it was a bit late, so I couldn't do much there. That was all that was. I was just kind of running laps. And I was able to make up a couple points just purely on the penalty that my teammate got, which was a bit lucky, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to run next week either, so that's pretty much my championship done. But it was a really great season, so I can't be too upset about it. It was a lot of fun running with everyone, and Cody put on a great series, so happy to have participated. Just a little bit bittersweet that I can't finish it out with the championship, but it was still a fun season regardless. So
At Las Vegas, there was a pretty wild finish at the end of the race, coming to the checkered. What are your thoughts on what happened? Kind of walk us through what you saw.
yeah, I had a great view it there. I could see everything go down. I was just behind it watching for my teammate. I was rooting for him there because it was important for us to get points in the team championship. Obviously, I couldn't really do anything to help there, not in a position where I could gain anything, but I was rooting him on there, and just unfortunately, just the way it went there didn't work out for him. He had a good shot, but just hole closed up, and they got into a huge wreck. That was pretty wild to see. Probably one of the biggest wrecks I've seen on a mile and a half.
Well, you mentioned you won't unfortunately be able to race for the championship. It's a close points battle with top four really up there. You said you were disappointed not being able to race for it, but what would have your strong suits would have been going to a track like Phoenix? Is that a track you look forward to hitting the road, or is that something that you're kind of glad that something came up in terms of racing at Phoenix, obviously not contending for the title?
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly a strong suit for me, but definitely not to where I would say I'm glad to miss it out. I think I still probably could have had a good showing. I think it's a track that I usually have a good pace, but just can't finish it out. And that's probably been the story of my season, to be honest, with the exception of the couple road course races that I picked up the wins on. I just couldn't close it out. And I think it's possible that if I could have got better results at Michigan and just got lucky to where I could have finished out Las Vegas with actual points gained, there would have been a shot that I could have finished the championship out with the drop race in the last race. Obviously, that's a lot of what ifs, but still disappointing that I can't race for sure. But
You just mentioned the wins at the road courses. Curious to know, besides really the road courses, what are some of the things you think of are highlights of how your season has gone?
I think we had a lot of good pace. If you look at the stats book, you can see that we had a lot of stage wins. So the running position was there, the pace was there. I think, like I said before, I just wasn't able to get the finishes out, and I couldn't close out the races the way that I was running in for most of the race. It's just little issues like pit stops, getting caught up in wrecks, not necessarily of my doing. Maybe I could have put myself in a better position. I got to think of Dover with that one. Maybe if I would have stayed out there, I don't get involved in that wreck. And of course, maybe if I tone back the aggression, I can avoid it too. But just a lot of unfortunate circumstances that I feel like took away a lot of points from me there. But it is the way it is, and it was still a great season, so I can't be too upset.
We're looking forward. If you return to season two, do you already have goals in mind? Something you want to achieve next season, or come back and just try and contest for wins again?
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of interesting thing that I was only able to get road course wins. So first on my list, I'd say just get that oval win out of the way. That's the biggest thing. Hopefully, if I can run the full season, I'd like to contend for the championship again. But we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure what the plans are yet for next season, but I'll be looking forward to it and hopefully run for Adria Esports again. Just want to shout out my sponsors, Four Cloak Media, and all the guys at my team, Major Esports. Brady puts on a great team for us. He does so much work, and we're looking to have a good looking forward to the next few months. We have a lot of endurance races that we're going to be participating in, namely the Roar and 24 Hours of Daytona. I I usually don't really participate in the endurance stuff, but I do want to get more into that. Most of the road stuff that I run is typically open wheel, so I am looking forward to that. It's going to be a great challenge, and I have a lot of great teammates around me, so hopefully we can put in good results.
All right. Well, thanks, Eric, for your time this afternoon. Thanks for joining Fast Lane. Good luck next season in SAAC, and good luck on those endurance races. Hopefully, we hear best out of those endeavors. Thanks for taking time, and congrats on a good season on SAAC thus far this year.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me. It was a fun season, so there's that. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks again to Eric Heeter for joining us on Fast Lane. As he said there, this is news to Josh and I will not be contesting the race at Phoenix this Thursday night, so unfortunately not going to pose the challenge to his teammate Zachary Thornton in the number 35 car during the finale of the Coast to Coast Cup Series this Thursday night. But Brian Lorenzo, Cody Rivera's could be outside chances other than the man who was 1 point behind entering, but still going to be an interesting battle Thursday night at Phoenix Raceway to conclude SAAC Coast to Coast Cup Series Season 1.
Ollie Reaves trying to pitch Cloud. Cloud coming up. Contact, as you mentioned. Reaves clear of Cloud. Now white flag waving one more time around here at Las Vegas. Can Reaves get it done, or is Webster going to hold on?
Reaves looks to the high side. Malachi Drake inside a Cloud for third. Not going to be able to keep it down there.
Webster, he's going to try to continue to break the trap. Pulls low. Reaves going even lower. Reaves on the apron. They're going to make contact. Reaves sends it high. Webster in the gas. They're going to be 3 wide with Cloud on the bottom. More contact. Who's going to win? Who's going to get to the line? It's going to be Webster. Webster whizzes it hard into the wall.
Okay, a huge crash. Michael Campbell goes flying after the finish. Disastrous wreck to end the race, but a crazy and phenomenal finish. Cody Webster held on, comes over the radio and says, "You are not winning like that," to Ollie Reaves, the man who dominated the second half of this race, trying to steal it in the final corner back, Josh. Hey, Brian, you got a copy?
Yep, loud and clear.
Well, crazy finish there, obviously. Let's start off with the race. But if that caution hadn't come out, do you think you would have had anything to run down Ollie Reaves there? Obviously, you let Malachi Drake go by, but you two looked like you were flying through the field there.
No, man. that boy Ollie today he was different on the long run. He was really quick. was pushing like crazy. I closed it down to about like 5 seconds. And by that time, the tires already evened out. He had already outsaved my tires, and it just evened out for the rest of the race. So I'd say no if that caution hadn't come out. Even if the caution hadn't come out, I wouldn't have had a chance to go get him.
All right. Well, when the caution did come out, and then you raced to the white flag, how many times did your mind change on what was going to happen and if you were in the spot to be or not there?
First, I definitely had a shift in mentality multiple times on that restart. My first mentality was try not to get wrecked. Wait till the white flag to make moves. And I'm watching these guys go, and I see Ollie just absolutely send it to 3 and 4, puts him up the track. I'm pushing the 48. I guarantee at that point I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna get finished 4th, like, it is what it is. And I just see Cody yeet it to their left, and they all reckon. And from there it was just like, all right, here's the opportunity. It's either win or go home here. And unfortunately we didn't win, but I'll take the 2nd place.
Well, you take that 2nd place. You're going to go into the finale next week at Phoenix. Where does this put you in terms of your mentality for season 1 and looking forward to overall?
Unfortunately, I'm kind of in the same position I was last season. We're a little bit on the back foot compared to the points leader. Today, I had a perfect day. Did exactly what I needed to do. Especially Zach, Cody, and Eric Heeter all had bad days out there. We won the stage. We finished 2nd. It's a great points day, and it's gonna give us a shot at it.
All right. Well, hopefully we get to hear more about that next week. Hopefully we find out real soon what the point situation is, so we can track that, of course, next Thursday night. Who are your sponsors? Who do you want to shout out for a podium run tonight before you hopefully go have a chance to race at a championship next week?
First, I'd like to thank EG, Equipment Geek Racing. Fortunately, wasn't here tonight, but my teammate Brandon helped me all night long, and he's one of the reasons why we had a good amount of speed. I'd like to thank Velocity Designs for for making my own car. Currently not making paint schemes right now, but we're about to get back into it. We're about to lock in. I'd like to thank you guys at JCTV for sponsoring, and hopefully that was a good show for you guys. That was a pretty wild finish. And I'd like to thank Cody for hosting the league and giving us the SAAC racing we always get weekly. It's been a blast this season. Can't wait to go into the finale. And that's about it.
Well, yeah, that was absolutely an interesting show, to say the least. Thanks for your time, Brian. Sorry I wasn't one spot better, but good luck next week.
Thank you, guys.
That was Brian Lorenzo, tonight's runner-up, and I believe, Josh, making your way down to victory lane.
Yeah, I'm here in the infield care center victory lane with Cody Webster. Cody, first of all, it's not often that I choose correctly in my pre-race picks to win. I don't know if you paid attention to the broadcast at all, but you were my pick to win.
Yeah, I think this is the 2nd time I've been picked this season. Maybe 3rd time. I'm not sure. I don't know. I would pick somewhere else too. So yeah, I did catch it on the broadcast early today. Kind of in the back of my head, but kind of let it go while I got racing out there. But congratulations on picking the right person.
Yeah, thank you. Congrats on the win tonight. So I mean, I don't really want to talk about the last restart yet. We'll get there. So all race long, I mean, you were fast, you were up front, and then had a little issue there while racing. You slammed into the wall pretty hard. How was the car feeling after that?
Ollie was quicker than me, so my car started falling off a little bit prior to that. I knew he was going to get to me. I knew he was going to pass me. He kind of, he could have been maybe a lap or a corner or patient in my mind. And, I was just running my line up there, and he just I was still technically there. It's kind of like that Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson move that with Pocono, and he just, in my eye, drove me dirty at that point. So I was like, all right, well, that's how you want to race. That's how you want to race. But I got into the wall, and car it was just slow. Handling wise wasn't bad because I never got the damage repaired after that. And it wasn't even much damage, but it was just slow. And then we got that green flag run. Well, we were in that green flag run. We pitted. We got new tires on. I was still running leader speed. It's just I dug myself a hole, pitted really late. So overall, the car maybe didn't have the full speed that it had in the beginning of the race, but it wasn't. It said it. To be fair, the crew chief came over and said your toe link is out of whack or whatever the hell they say on the radio, and I was like, oh well, I guess I hit it a ton. So, but it didn't really. It just drove slower, and the steering and everything was pretty much similar.
So that caution comes out, and you decide to take 2 tires. Was it a call that was in your mind as soon as the caution came out? Was it something you were kind of contemplating until you got down to pit road?
Well, I came over the radio to my guys in Discord probably like 20 laps into that run before we all pitted on the green, and I said, do you guys think 2 tires will work? Because I was actually thinking about taking 2 tires during that run, and I didn't. And once some of the guys said, it might work, but on a green-white checker, it probably will. So after being trapped back in 8th and really nothing else to lose, and I've lost so many races, well, only 2 or 3 races this season, my mistakes or just bad strategy calls, I was like, well, I got to do something to put myself in position. So I said, well, it's either going to go into turn 1, I'm going to spin out in front of everybody, or it's somehow going to stick for 2 laps. And that was the mindset, and it's either I was going to bring home, checkered flag, or I was probably going to wreck the field. Well, kind of, I guess, did both. So, yeah, it's a pretty crazy way to do all that.
Well, while the infield care center doctors are checking you out, you won tonight, making that call. We head to Phoenix next week. Do you think that anything from tonight might carry over to next week?
I can't say no, and I don't know. I don't know what's going through the mindset of drivers. It's a friendly competition you'd like to think you have on the track, but obviously everybody has feelings, and obviously I had feelings with how I was raced earlier in the race, and that ultimately led to what happened in turn 3. Although I think I was probably going to get shoved to the wall if I really didn't hold my ground there. So I said, when all that happened, I said, you're not doing it to me 2 times this race. I'm not, so I just stayed on his door and just went left and made sure he went left with me. And, that all happened. So, if something comes back, I don't think I'm going to get race clean, but I wasn't going to give up another win. I just as how hard he threw it into the corner, he wanted to go for the win. I was not going to give it up coming out of 4. So I hope not. I hope I don't get any backlash from it, but a win feels nice, and I definitely wanted to get one. And if something happens at Phoenix, something happens at Phoenix.
All right. Well, before I let you go, sponsor shout-outs. Who would you like to thank?
Proximity Racing, all the guys over there, Aaron, Malachi, Luke. We hang out with Eric Heeter. Sucks that he didn't was able to run how he wanted to run tonight. And then I have my buddy Mike who came to race with us for the first time tonight. So all those guys had nice blue Fastenal colors on the car tonight with the new Ford template logos for the newer version. So Fastenal, they don't sponsor me. They'd probably throw me a lot of money if they did, but whatever. And I would like to thank you guys for broadcasting the race, and Cody for putting on the whole entire league, and all the admin for helping him out. And that's really it.
Alrighty. Well, congrats on the win. We'll let you go celebrate, and see you next week in Phoenix.
Thank you guys.
I thought Will was gonna get it until Webster decided to turn from the outside wall all the way to the grass and wreck me and Will and stuff. I mean, he did what he wanted to do. He said that he wanted to he was gonna wreck the field and win the race or something like that. So he got it, but it is what it is.
Were you upset at all? It didn't seem like you were that frustrated right after, and the next day it seemed to be you were over it. Is this gonna continue on into this last race here, the last race of the season? Cody said when we talked to him in Victory Lane that he understood if it was gonna carry over, but at the moment he didn't really care too much.
I was the most mad I've ever been at this game. I just didn't say it in chat because I didn't want to like look crazy in front of everybody. But in my little group chat, man, I was beyond mad because it's kind of like a boiling point. This I could have won at Dover. A late race caution happened at Michigan whenever I was leading, and now this week, and then I've just been get so unlucky. I got really mad though. I just try not to lash out.
You mentioned Dover. So you have 2 second place finishes. One of them at Dover, the other at Darlington. Would you consider those the highlights of your season, or I mean, what would your highlights be in your eyes?
My highlights of my season was definitely I think this or Vegas, Michigan, and surprisingly Indianapolis. I feel like I was pretty good there at the Oval. Um, Pretty strong at Dover too. I've had a lot of strong races. We're coming into the second half of the season.
You mentioned those strong races. You've moved quite a bit up in the points the last couple of weeks, Ollie. You sit sixth right now after that race in Las Vegas, and entering this final race, there are plenty of more points on the table for you to leapfrog a couple more spots here.
Yeah, I'll try. It's just a battle of attrition and just not getting in wrecks, not getting wrecked, just stuff like that. All right, so going into Phoenix, I've been like bullied like every race, so I'm just gonna go in there and like mess with anybody that's not fighting for a championship. To be honest, like I'm just gonna take out my frustrations. I know that sounds bad, but like I mean, it's whatever. I'm just gonna go in there and just try to do whatever. I'm gonna run a special paint scheme too. You're gonna see that.
Well, we can't wait to see that. I know Josh and I are both fans of the Ollie's paint scheme that you run, of course, but like you mentioned, trying to get all the anger out in the last race of the season. Overall, between season 0 and season 1 of Coast to Coast, how have you enjoyed racing Thursday nights with these cars and at these tracks, all kinds of different races that we've had this year?
I love it. I love it. It's a really fun league. I feel like there's actually a lot of good quality drivers. It's just like I feel like we gotta execute better on like the track temps and stuff like that, so it can race better. But I've loved it so far. Most races we've had, I feel like, was fun, except for like a few, like maybe Martinsville or like Daytona or something like that.
Well, before we complete the season this Thursday night, I will give you another shot here at sponsor shoutouts and anyone you want to thank to get you here this season in SAAC Coast to Coast Cup Series and any other things you want to shout out before we move on to season 2.
I just want to shout out to y'all, man. Thanks for broadcasting stuff, doing all the good streams and stuff. I've been looking at the videos y'all had. I saw y'all had a rec compilation thing. Thought that was really cool. Also just Zenith, my team, just all the people that's been racing the league too. That's really it.
All right, well, thanks for your time, Ollie. Good luck this Thursday in the season finale. Hopefully, it ends up right for you, getting that win of the first win of the season, and looking forward to talking to you next season as well.
Fastlane, a JCTV podcast, is sponsored by Faces, the National Craniofacial Association.
Fastlane is also sponsored by Spooky Games. Check them out in Attleboro, Massachusetts, or online at spooky-games.square.site or on their Facebook today. Links are in the description.
Hey everyone, it's Joshua Copernal, driver of the number 42 JCTV Chevrolet Silverado for PBR, also known as Grace's dad. And you're watching Fastlane, a JCTV podcast.
How excited are you about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I've heard about this series quite a bit from you guys at Radius, Cameron, mostly. Um, I know it's a series that some guys from Radius are more familiar with. Um, and it's just kind of sprung upon us to broadcast. But pretty excited, great opportunity. So TNR, Total Nonstop Racing, Truck Series League coming to JCTV, and it's pretty much we're jumping right into it, pretty much right after we hit January. So um, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch and broadcast. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a great opportunity for us to continue to grow and um, for them to showcase what they can do on JCTV.
You mentioned Total Nonstop Racing having a little bit of history in the past with some of our other drivers having a lot of crossover there. Would not be the first time TNO has aired on JCTV, though, Josh. One makeup race we had on the channel a few months ago, just to fill in broadcast after their regular broadcasters had some kind of issues, but like you mentioned, once we get into the second half of January, it kicks off 6 months of Truck Series racing. Monday nights right here on JCTV, beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern. Out of the schedule that everyone's looking at right now, what excites you the most? I'm looking at the doubleheaders. Those are always intriguing, no matter what league we go with, Josh. Especially those types of racetracks, with these being speedways here.
So like I think I am really looking forward to, and this may get some flack. I'm sorry, but we've seen it on JCTV before. But I'm looking at May 20th, and first of all, this is going to be a truck series league. We've seen it in real life with Xfinity and Cup cars. We've seen it on JCTV with Cup cars. We're going to see it with trucks. And I think that's a beautiful thing about iRacing is combos that we may not see in real life. The Chicago Street Course. I mean, come on. You know, I, road courses are so fun anyway. And you get a bunch of guys, put them in trucks. May not be familiar with the track too much. It's really tight. Uh, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how that one's gonna go.
I agree with you. I think that one is going to very well lend itself to the chaos there on May 20th. Two more I'm looking at, kind of in the same vein. Indianapolis, April 8th. That race is going to be crazy if it's the actual Indianapolis Motor Speedway, because that track, of course, huge, fast, and with these trucks, a lot of downforce. That's going to be very exciting. But the other one, March 18th, I think this one is a staple of trucks, should be a staple of the Truck Series, I should say, because trucks haven't yet raced there in real life. Josh, Kern County, small little bull ring that's staple on the West Series schedule, but used to be a truck circuit back in the day before they bulldozed it and rebuilt the place. But the little tiny track, I think those have the potential for chaos here on JCTV and good close racing at the end of the race.
Yeah, I really like the schedule overall. I mean, everything it's kind of all spread out. We're not seeing like a clump of a bunch of the same type of tracks. And you mentioned about Kern County, and I'm looking at the March races. You've got Texas, mile and a half, Mo Sport, a road course, Kern County. You just talked about that, and then going to Kansas. So like 2 mile and a half there, but Kansas and Texas completely different from each other. You got a road course.
Well, Josh, we have some news to break here on Fastlane. There's going to be a new series coming to the channel.
Kern County with a short track. I mean, you got 4 different types of tracks there. It's just going to be so exciting. Should be a lot of fun. I really like the schedule.
So this is, of course, part of 2024 plans we have been hinting a lot in the last couple of weeks on streams, Josh. One of the many series that, or one of the few series, I should say, that are being added onto the schedule, but a bunch of races and a bunch of live streams. Should be a lot of good racing. Overall, like you said, you're excited about the schedule. Overall, with another truck series added, how much do you think this is going to help JCTV overall with all kinds of racing going on almost every night of the week in 2024?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think this is a great opportunity for JCTV. You know, the one thing that I love about JCTV is, you know, we have great quality broadcasts at cheap prices. And I think it's going to help JCTV a ton. You know, I I'm looking forward to it. You know, we have all different kinds of racing. You mentioned it. This is going to be the second truck series. We've got, you know, next gen. I think we'll have a couple next gens. We're gonna have a Gen 4 Cup series coming on. We've got um, Xfinity. I mean, just all these different kinds of racing. I mean, you know, so not only just really helping JCTV grow, but just having the content out there for people to enjoy, and you know, just different types. It's not the same type of thing every single week or every single day, rather. You know, I think this brings out the it brings out the different diversity, all these cars, and you know, just gives everybody something different to race. And you know, one thing that I think has been so cool to me to see just over everything is drivers that have been a part of one series that say JCTV is broadcasting this league, so we want to kind of go over that as well. And it's really not just been the same couple people. It's really just been a bunch of people from each and every little different league that has kind of jumped into these different places, and it's been really cool to see. Um, you know, so it's I think bringing TNR in is going to be awesome, and really looking forward to working with them to help us continue to grow and keep putting on great broadcasts for them.
All right. Well, thanks for that, Josh. Absolutely looking forward to seeing what this partnership is able to bring for all parties involved in 2024. Glad to be alongside you, Josh, for this, and excited to see what these races are going to have in store for us next year, and overall the how busy we are going to be behind the scenes here at JCTV to make this all going. But this is just part of the fun.
It's going to be 3 wide for third. Meanwhile, up front, it's Smithley and Hacker leading the field. Ooh, DePortia with a save. How did he save that car?
That was incredible.
An immaculate save by DeForgia, but now the top 3 making the top 4 on a breakaway. Hacker, Smithley, Bickford, and Warren heading to the white flag. It's going to be 1 lap to go. We're only going to need the 1. It's time for the final lap at Talladega. Smithley, Hacker, Bickford, the top 3. How long does Smithley wait to make the move?
This is the place Smithley wants to be. He's got no pack to worry about. He's just got Bigfoot and Hacker to really worry about, unless those guys get grouped up. But he is in the seat he wants to be, probably.
They are pushing hard back behind. They're going to have a chance. Maybe Warren and Malozzi have a shot. That's about it. Coming down to 3 and 4. There goes the move. Smithley to the outside of Hacker. Hacker's not going to have a shot to the inside. Here comes Warren and Malozzi. Hacker going to pull down low. Smithley going to clear up top. He's going to be in control of the lead. Bickford on his back bumper. Bickford makes the move to the top. They are fanning out. Everybody battling for a position they can get. Spinning in the grass is Hacker. Smithley doors Bickford. Warren turns him. Coming to the line. This time it's going to be, I believe, Alex Kerfin.
Oh my gosh!
Alex
How did he do
Kerfin somehow, some way steals the victory.
Wow!
An incredible run, and I do believe it's going to be Alex Kerfin taking home the trophy in a .00331 thousandths of a second. This is the field coming through 3 and 4. You saw Hacker there, passed by Smithley. Then Bickford made the move on Smithley. He got to his outside, then right here, Hacker gets turned. Then the whole field stacks up Smithley into Bickford. Everybody fighting, but look at the whole opening there for Kerfin, but he's wrecked across the line, and somehow, some way, he's able to score the victory. And right there. That's how close the finish was.
And that, of course, was the amazing finish of last year's Redditors versus Racers. And year number 2 is right around the corner for that. This Friday night, 7:45 p.m. Eastern, is the scheduled start time for the JCTV broadcast. It was a lot of fun to be a part of the broadcast last year. Had a lot of fun calling that race up in the booth with Dawson and Josh. And it's going to be very exciting for myself to be on the racetrack this time. It'd be very fun to see what I can do in this sim this Friday night with all the racers, all the Redditors, see what's going to go happen. The trucks at Daytona. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but of course don't forget Thursday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, the final race of the SAAC Coast to Coast Cup Series Season 1 finale at Phoenix Raceway. Josh and Brett will of course have the coverage of that to conclude the first season of Coast to Coast Cup Series action. Complete coverage all season long on JCTV.